Good morning. Happy Sunday. All right. Music levels, I think, is good. Mic is hopefully good. All right. I think we're good to go. All right. So, I think I have a pretty good idea of the next things I want to do. I actually trimmed out a bunch of things that I had done along the way that was in this column of things to think about more, essentially. And identified some of the next steps. Kind of, I think I've been saying for the last couple of streams, we're like approaching a point of like integrating everything together and from a bunch of different angles, right? And so these are kind of some of the next things to do in that effort. I think the first thing I need to do though is there were some changes that I had made because I was testing not even testing, but just starting to I've had a backlog of videos that I needed to upload to S3, and that triggers off some of our automated processes that now are doing a bunch of things, right? Because they're they're extracting audio, they are doing speech to text transcription, it's grabbing keyframes, it's doing silence detection, and now it's doing transcoding of the video to the format for HLS so that we can view it in the app. You are downscaled 480p kind of preview in the editor of the VOD. And so apparently 15 minutes is not guaranteed, not necessarily sufficient, but 30 works. How long were those jobs taking is a question. So I have AWS. Why am I searching AWS? We just search for batch. There we go. Let's go to batch. All right, and we have jobs list. So we have a bunch of jobs that all succeeded. That's good. So this is where I did some retries after I increased the job runtime. 20 minutes, it looks like, to do everything. 20 minutes. This must have been a really short video. 3 minutes. A large portion of the time this takes is downloading the video to the machine from S3. So I see 25 minutes, so maybe 30 minutes is cutting it a little too close. I want these things to succeed. I just don't want to give this infinite time. If something were to go wrong, I don't want this container to be running for all month. Yeah. A thing that we do need to do at some point is tie in this with how we have in the UI our task drawer, and being able to look at like, here's background jobs that are running sort of thing. So let's do this though. So this is this repo. Let's create a new increase video ingestion timeout. I'm gonna switch this to helps if I save. Hey, if I run this again, well, let's say 45. Yeah, there you go. Cool. All right, push that up, and then we can move on to other things. Specifically this PR, which I was thinking about a little bit last night, kind of sketching out next steps for it. So we'll take a look at that in a second. So, create batch process to render cut list file on S3 assets, transcodes and uploads to S3. So this doesn't do most of that presently. But what this does do is this, I don't know if I've shown on stream, maybe not, the Rust version of the Python code that we were working on, I guess a couple of streams ago now, right? So we had done a little Python script to take a JSON file that describes how to take multiple videos and cut them and combine them into a single file using FFmpeg, right? So essentially a script that generates an FFmpeg command with all the command line arguments to do both the cut and splice, if you will, the concatenation, and applying like transition effects and applying like overlay videos on top. So that has been converted into a Rust version. I will say this was kind of an experimental thing where I was like, let me try to use Copilot to take a Python file and have it make a Rust equivalent. So disclaimers on that. It had some issues. I did first go back and clean up and reorganize the Python script so that it was not like multiple layers of string concatenation. So I built a data structure, lifted that up. This is like for the filters portion, because that was where it was like building this nested structure. Although to some extent, I think we lost that again in this conversion. But I did test this, and this does do the equivalent. It generates the equivalent command for the same input for a non-trivial input. So, but as Copilot points out here in this review, there are some things that are hard-coded that I'll want to address. And then we need to actually go into our render job program and actually write it to do things. Cool. I will take that suggestion. Is that the only actionable one? Seems like that is. All right, cool. It might even be right. I guess we'll find out. One of the things I would like to do as we're working on this today is actually get this running locally. And because most of this, so what am I trying to say? Ideally, hold on one second before we jump into that. Okay, the other thing got merged. Let's update this branch. All right, so issue 340 is the branch name. Let's pull down main. Now, if I check this out, can I pull rebase? Okay, that should be good. All right. That's the thing that I was like, oh, I need to sort that out before we move forward. So having sorted that out, let's move forward. Let's get rid of the terminal, and in render job, we just have a main.rs. So all of the making the command is in a different crate. Let's pull that in. So that's GT FFmpeg. Is that something where I can just like workspace equals true? Rust Analyzer doesn't like that. Okay. So that's not the correct way of doing that. Do that instead. Is that how we're doing it in other crates? Yeah. Okay. That's fine. So, GT FFmpeg. Edit. What's the name of the module? It's not called main, right? Surely not. That was me being lazy. Okay, so let's start here. So here's our edit.rs, and so this is the. Oh, I see. Okay, I did provide a main function. We don't actually want this. Are we calling this in one of our tests? No. Okay, we can remove that. That's just paralleling what we had in the Python script, where we had a pre-baked cut list. The real magic starts with FFmpeg command, build FFmpeg command. Let's see. So hard-coded frame rate. Yeah. So how do I want to do this? The cut list doesn't have resolution. I don't know that I want to do a module of a constant. I guess this can be. We can provide those options to build FFmpeg command. Let's do this. Frame rate. Can I do it that way? Or is it... Can you do default values for arguments in Rust? Seems like no. Really? Rust default arguments. Okay, Stack Overflow says no. There's no way, according to this forum post. Take option foo. Yeah, I could do that. This is fine. And then oh, we also just have a hard-coded output. Let's also take that. Yeah. And then let's do resolution. Yeah. I think that's good. Okay, can you get out of my face? Okay. So then frame rate, check. There's a lot of other options that I'm passing to FFmpeg that could theoretically be parameterized, but this module is not intended to be really super general. I mean, really the intent is that this is a thing to take a set of videos, do cuts, combine them together, do overlays, and then render for YouTube. At the resolution that I upload at, with the how I want to do it. Sure. So were there places where I had my resolution besides in the test? So add video to output track has that set. Yeah, there it is. Let's do resolution. Okay, can you go away? Is there... Yeah, you can definitely have like named parameters here, and that would probably be good. it strikes me that maybe keyboard-based, whoops, keyboard-based navigation would be better, especially if I could not hit the wrong keys. There we go. I did something funky. Okay, let's undo. Okay, I think I put my cursor in multiple places. That's fun. And then we need to actually oh, that's end. I see. Okay. Output track index. No. I'm starting to think specifically I should move where maybe control. Like, it's probably time for me to kind of revisit my keyboard layout a little bit. There are definitely times where like Control and Alt are a little awkward to get to. Okay. So that gets us back to where we were. Woo! But I wanted to do all that because it'll make it really easy to say width. Height. Yeah. And then I could do the same thing here. Or I could ask Copilot to do it. Change this to use keyword parameters. I don't know if that's the right term. Instead of positional. Let's see if Copilot can figure out what I mean. Okay, so is that... Yeah. Is there a keyboard shortcut for accept? Control Enter. Cool. And then I could do the same thing other places. That could be good. But let's see. 1440. Okay, in the test. Okay, so there aren't any other places where I was using resolution. Interesting. So now what I need to, what I need to figure out is what I broke. Here we go. So create main track, we call add video to output track. It's now expecting a resolution. So we'll So now this, hey, I'm seeing a pattern here. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Repeatedly adding the same arguments to a set of functions like this that are all kind of working on the same data makes it feel like there's probably there's an opportunity for some refactoring, let's say, in all of this. But it's fine. It's fine for now. I mean, to start with, I could like wrap frame rate and resolution together in a struct and pass that around, but maybe, you know, having some other kind of something else going on might be good. And now we can propagate that resolution all the way through. And now this complains because it's never used, but really this should be a public function for our module. And then we have a complaint about something down here. Right. So in our test, we're expecting some arguments. There we go. So that's how you use that to do what it was already doing. And this is the command that this input data and then this build FFmpeg command will generate, roughly. Except for the FFmpeg part. The way I'm doing the test is I'm trying to get the string back out of this command struct. Okay, so yeah, so this is a lot of magic. But it's basically what we figured out 2 streams ago, but we just did it in Python. And oh yeah, to complete the story though, so the process of converting from Python to Rust, essentially the first go around, Copilot, because I was using the edit, Copilot edits feature, and then I had the Python file, and then I created a Rust file. And so it took several iterations, because the first iteration was just like, it gave me a function. It might have been like a main function. And then it created some of these other, like the next level down with some logic, but then it was like, just left comments saying, fill in this with the rest, right? And so I iterated maybe 2 or 3 times to have it go back and fill in the logic, and that pretty much worked. I think this it was not a completely faithful reproduction of the same kind of the structure was there in terms of like the function tree, but the way the data was accumulated and then turned into stringified at the end was not preserved. But that's fine. This is actually resembles how the Python code was before the refactor. So I don't know if the refactor was useless or if Copilot would have been confused by the original version of the Python code. Regardless, the refactor made me feel better before it was summarily thrown away. What are we complaining about here? So this is no longer on the right line. So where are we doing color channel mixer? Channel mixer. So we have some hard-coded things here. Like for color key, yeah, theoretically those could be non-hard-coded. We have other, things like that, and that's fine. If I were making like a general library, I don't know. Here's the thing I don't know. The capabilities that I'm taking advantage of here with the filter complex arguments and all this other stuff for the FFmpeg command line, I know there are libraries under the command line that I could potentially call directly into. Is that what would that look like to just directly call those libraries versus building a command line and invoking it like that? I don't know. It's worth considering. Okay. And this is complaining because the warning that I got before was a lie. All right. Unused import. Okay. Well, which is it? Is it necessary or is it unused? So now we have errors down here in our tests. Yeah. If I do that, and then we have those same warnings. So here's something I don't know. I've written some unit tests before, But I don't think I've ever written a file where I have unit tests that have the need to import things that don't need to be imported otherwise. So let's see, Rust tests, 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 import. Let's see, test unused. Yeah, there we go. Oh, this is familiar. Doing mod test. Yeah, I think this is what I'm missing. This is what I'm missing in my life. Let's undo this. And then these test functions, starting here. Yeah, this is something I've done before. I guess the other thing I could do is I could just make a separate file, right? I could just make a separate file, aka module, right? Okay, what are you complaining about? Everything. Remove. Okay, so that's not necessary. It claims. It's a lie. Okay. What is actually necessary here? So let's see. If I click this, does that add that here? It does. Create complex filter, build FFmpeg commands. Okay. Are we... I don't get it. Yeah, I know, there's imports missing. Oh hey, the warnings go away after I run the test. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I put... What? 289. Oh, okay. Yeah. Fun. Whatever. The warnings went away. Okay, so finally, the idea of this render job src main.rs is this is a program that's going to run. It's going to do the things that I've outlined here, which I have kind of placeholders for. Also, main is not a thing that exists. Or after build FFmpeg commands. Yep. And what we're going to do is we're going to import cut list from types. That's in my cargo file, right? Types, good. Yeah, and we'll ignore all this right now. I want to kind of go over kind of what the point of all of this is. I mean, you probably get it, right? So we're gonna have a record in a database. So this will be like, I guess, a DynamoDB record that's going to describe the, let's call it a project. In fact, let's this program will take a project at a high level. When speaking high level, that describes a video editing job, and we'll run the job using FFmpeg and upload the result to S3 and update the project record with the output file URL. Let's say path. Okay, so broadly, that's what we're trying to do, right? So get a record from a database. Use that record to determine what we're trying to do, including what are the files that we need as input. Then download all the files, and then run the command, and then finally upload the results of the command, and then update the database, which is all the stuff right here, right? So we do some things where we're like, okay, get a record ID, and then so we have a record ID. Then we manufacture the cut list by getting it from with the record ID. Then we download the input files, which are described in the cut list. There's going to be, let's see, I think this is fine. I think having this, just very nice, the simple, like, direct flow is really nice. And keeping like the information that's being passed through really simple is good as well. So like most of these things only take a single argument. So download input files. We create a temp output file. Is temp file a dependency that I've listed here? Conveniently, yes. Then we run the command. So we have a function in this file that is responsible for essentially actually calling build FFmpeg command and running it. Again, to keep things simple, like this is the only thing that takes multiple arguments because I don't think there's a way to avoid that. Upload output file, right? So we have an output file, which is, our temp file. And then we update the job record. This needs something. This needs, let's say, let output location equals that. There we go. Brilliant. And then we just need to fix. How do I go to definition? I forget. F12. There we go. And of course, none of these things are actually implemented, and that's fine. So what I'd like to do is I would like to stub out the input and the output. So we're not actually trying to talk to AWS yet. We're not trying to get things from AWS. We're not sending things to AWS. We're just going to run things locally and test things out. Hey, Brainless. Good morning. Always the cute emotes. Hello, hello. All right, so let's see. I have a sample command. That is to say, I have a sample cut list. So I'm going to take this cut list, and that's going to be what this is going to return for now. Oh, okay, there we go. To do. Wait, what was the? No, I didn't want to click that. I wanted to click that. No, that. Yes. Okay, to do. Get the record from the database. Yeah, that's what we would eventually want to do. Okay, so then we're missing some imports. Okay. How are you doing today, Brainless? All right, what are we missing now? So this is supposed to be... we need to change upload output file to return a string or a string slice or something. Yeah, something like that. Output location. Okay, so we don't need that. Doing well, looking for a good authorization library. Says really don't want to build one myself. Interesting. For Elixir, I'm assuming. How am I? I'm doing all right. Getting the coffee in. Yeah, but otherwise good. Just enjoying the weekend. I spent a little bit of time working on this yesterday, and then I spent some time in Satisfactory going around thinking about some things, and then which is a funny thing to say, right? Okay, I launch a game, you launch the game to play the game, but for me, playing like half of playing a game is just thinking about things. Thinking about yeah, anyway. And then I came across an interesting game, Thrive, that was $5 on Steam. I guess it's maybe free elsewhere, but you know, kind of an indie game people have been working on for a long time. So trying that out a little bit. And it's a Spore inspired game. They have like a single cell stage, and then it goes into like a multicellular, although I didn't get that far, but I was watching someone's video. Nucleum, something like that. Anyway, Brainless says, basically the side project I had been working on when I had authentication using Google and role-based authorization, for example, or project managers, developers, contributors, sudo. Yeah, I don't know for Elixir. The first thing that comes to mind for me, for like, well, for... I'm not sure for authentication. Like, there's probably something out there for authentication. For Elixir. Maybe. What's the thing? There's a lot of things. What's the one that I'm thinking of, though? You don't know? You can't read my mind. Role-based access control. Yeah, those are things. I would know it if I saw it. Is it authset? It's not authset, is it? I've been here before. Oh yeah, my Pi-hole will not let me go there though. Oh, maybe it is. SpiceDB. Zanzibar inspired thing. Although this might be too heavyweight for what you have in mind. But it's, from what I've looked at this, I've not used this before. It's very configurable and expressive. So maybe too much for a side project. But, and you said more. The authorization part, I have a library. It's the role-based authorization part, which I'm still looking for. Okay, well, Google Zanzibar is a thing, apparently. I've not actually looked at this. This is just like, yeah, Google research. There's a paper. Yeah. And then, yeah, I think the idea with this is that you can define not just those relationships, but then permissions derived from the relationships in a way that is more interesting than what I'm saying. Because honestly, I don't fully understand it. but the thing is SpiceDB. Oh, and then that's just Streamlabs shouting at me. Shouting at us all. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so maybe that could be a thing. If at some point this application, assuming I've already added like sign in, and we have, Cognito. I don't know. I don't know if there would be a use case for a more complex authorization. Maybe there's things where like you have multiple user roles for glowing Telegram. I think that can make sense from like a streamer, channel manager, moderator, whatever kind of different roles with different levels of permissions that would be configurable. That could be a thing if I wanted to make it a thing. Anyway, so actually, I think this function works. Now, and this is going to be fine because it is referencing videos that are on my hard drive, and I think we made this so that this is all like it's short segments of video, so it'll be really fast to render. So we're gonna just have stubbed out download input files, upload output file is stubbed out, update job record is stubbed out. So what is next to do is to run command. Excuse me. I think what I'll do here is can I do const frame rate? This should be a floating 32, I think, and this should be 60 because all my videos are at 60 FPS. And then resolution is 2560 by 1440. Hooray! And Brainless says, "Yep, that makes a lot of sense." Okay, I'm assuming that was in reference to the words that I was emitting about authorization. Oh, it is a bot. Ban. All right. Anyway, yeah, and it's gone. All right, let's run a command. This should be easy, right? Because we're just going to do something like this. I don't think I want to actually do this though. Let's does it need to be mutable? I don't know that it needs to be mutable. Let's just build the command. These arguments are wrong, right? Because it just takes the cut list. What are the arguments? Frame rate and then output file. Why did I do it that way? Okay, well, regardless. So build FFmpeg command. What is its actual behavior? I mean, it's returning, no, it just returns a command. It doesn't return a result with the expectation that this can't really fail, right? So we don't need that question mark there. And then we say output is, no, that's all wrong. Command dot executes the command as child process, waiting for it to finish and collecting all its output. This method, unlike the standard library, will unconditionally configure the std out, std error handles to be pipes, even if they've been previously configured. If it's not desired, then the spawn method should be used in combination with the wait with output method. Okay, spawn wait. I don't need to wait. If I call wait, I mean I don't know that I need output. So if I just call wait, Waits for the child to exit completely, returning the status that it exited with. The function will continue to have the same return value after it's been called at least once. SD handle to the child processing will be closed before waiting. Do I want output from the command? Let's say yes. Let's say let output is this. Oh, right, we need to wait. Wait, I'm confused. Yeah, this is a feature. Right, wait with output returns a result of an output. Spawn. Oh, output. Okay, let's just. Yeah. I don't want to do this though, but we can take the first bit of this. See, tracing. There we go. That seems fine. Return error. Otherwise, okay. And this needs to be a string, so we'll do toStr. I don't think it likes that. Because toStr gives us an option. String lossy as ref. That works. This, right? So output is not a thing that we need to question, or is it? No, we need to await it. Aha. Okay, now output is a result. So yeah, there you go. All right. Figuring things out. Cannot borrow command as mute. Okay, so we do need a let mute. Aha. All right. So, in short, if I were to compile and run this program right now, which I'm about to do, what should happen? Well, it should build the FFmpeg command and then run it, and then output somewhere to a temp file the rendered output. One would think. Let's do this. So in here, let's print ln output file. I guess .display is a function. Returns an object that implements display for safely printing paths that may contain non-Unicode data. Okay, that's fine, I guess. So render job, cargo builds. This is fine. I guess if I wanted to run this, actually, how much faith do I have in my in build FFmpeg command? Really, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, really bad things, right? Debug, render job. Okay, needs a record ID. Bam. Okay. I see. So, we generated a temp file. The temp file doesn't have an extension, so it doesn't know the format of the output. So that's an oversight that our build FFmpeg command should explicitly say that the file type of the output. Arg. How do we do that? Now we don't need to scale it. How do you say the output format? FFmpeg specify output format with no extension. Yeah. -F. This was an MP4 originally, right? That was what was there before we replaced it with a parameter. Yeah, cool. So that should be fine. Although I do like to, like if they are separate arguments, then they should be separate arguments, which those are. And then we cargo build again. And it does a thing. Is the temp file going to be deleted when the program exits? Probably. Just ignore that something may be wrong. That's fine. That's normal. How long should this take? How many frames is our test? So it's like 600, 700, 50, 2500, 2800. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. All right. So this file probably doesn't exist anymore. Yep. And it's gone. But that is fine. Like, that's the idea, is that, let's do this. Can we display this file size and first 10 bytes of the file? Read exact is not a thing. Or we need to import something. Okay, cool. I don't feel like changing the temp file thing to not delete itself when it exits scope, which is happening here. So basically when the program terminates, it causes the file to be deleted, which is what we want, right? Once we've uploaded the file, we don't want to leave the file on disk on the server. I mean, that'll probably it'll go away eventually. I don't know if so this is going to be running inside of a container on AWS Fargate as part of our batch job, and we do have temporary storage there in the Fargate container. The question is going to be, did I not run build first? Oh, I did. Okay. That's why there's no difference. Where was he going with that? So I think the container would get cleaned up anyway, but it's best to be to clean up after ourselves. And using that temp file crate, we do that automatically. Now what is this? What is the $: going to do with this byte buffer? How is it going to actually print it out? What's that going to look like? I don't know. Almost there. Okay, so it was 24 megabytes. And there are some bytes. Are those bytes that indicate it's an MP4? I don't know. That's a question. First bytes in an MP4 file. The first byte specified says, okay, can we size of the box. So we have 32. And the next 4 bytes specifying the box type, F type, 667479. Nope. I don't know. But apparently it's been an hour. So I'm going to take a break here and get some water and stretch my legs, and I'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll keep on working on glowing telegram. So here we go.